If the holidays tend to send your business into a full-on slow season spiral, then today's episode's for you. I'm walking you through exactly how I'm prepping my business for the holiday slowdown without slowing down my sales. Because yes, you can sip hot chocolate, watch all the Christmas movies, and still make money while you're in your Christmas PJs. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Moms Make Money podcast. I'm your host, Jenny. I'm the owner of Moms Make Money Collective, a podcast and visibility strategist and mom of two. Many moms feel like we need to sacrifice our careers for our children, but I wholeheartedly believe that we can have a thriving business and family at the same time. In this podcast, we're going to be diving into the ins and outs of running a business as a mom and getting real and raw about all things parenting. So buckle up because we're about to go all in. Hey, and welcome back to the Moms Make Money podcast, where we talk about building profitable, flexible, and sustainable service-based businesses in part-time hours. I'm Jenny Sunnison, a podcast strategist, business mentor, and fellow mom trying to juggle work, life, and school holiday chaos, all while keeping the business running smoothly. And as we head into the last stretch of the year, I've been getting a lot of questions about how I handle the holidays in my own business. Things like what I prep, what I pause, and how I keep revenue flowing even when I'm not actively promoting or working as much. So in this episode, I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing exactly what I do to make sure I'm not starting from zero in January when I come back from Christmas break. So first, let's start with why I plan for a slowdown in the first place. If you've been in business for a while, you've probably noticed that the holidays can bring one of two extremes. So either you're overwhelmed with last-minute clients trying to squeeze things in before the year end, or things go totally quiet because everyone's checked out until January. For me personally, I've learned to expect a little bit of slowdown in terms of new inquiries coming to the business as well as launches, because I do not recommend people launching a podcast in late November or anytime in December until, people have come back from the holidays in January. But instead of fighting it, I plan for it. And I use that time intentionally to rest, reflect, and prep for the next year. So that means I always build in space for more family time, school events. So I'm always building in space for more family time, school events, and mental rest. But I also make sure that revenue isn't taking a vacation just because I am. And that's where the next few steps come in. So the first thing I do is I front load and automate my content. So typically by mid-November, I like to have all of my December and part of my January's podcast episodes, emails, and social content scheduled out. That way, I can step back without feeling like I'm completely ghosting my audience. If you're a fellow service provider or coach, think about what content will nurture your audience through the holidays. Maybe it's your best tips for staying productive, mindset reminders, or even a fun behind-the-scenes look at your year in review. And if you've got evergreen content or offers, this is a time to schedule repurposed posts that drive people back to these offers. For me, this looks like pulling clips or quotes from top-performing podcast episodes and resharing them with calls to action leading to my digital products and membership. Automation is truly your best friend during the holidays. Let your systems do the work while you rest and recharge. The next thing I do is I map out any holiday or year-end promotions early. Whether it's a flash sale on a digital product, a last chance promo for your services before your prices increase in January, or a holiday bundle of your offers, now is the time to plan it. So, for example, I could run a short holiday campaign that repackages some of my most popular resources for moms who want to set themselves up for success in 2026. That's not saying that's what I'm doing, because when I'm recording this, I'm still in the planning phases for that. And if I want to really do anything for a holiday promo or not, because I don't always do something, it just really depends on the year. But here is the key here. Is if you want to do some sort of holiday promo, you want to pre-write and pre-schedule everything. From the emails to the social content to the checkout pages to the graphics. That way, when everyone else is scrambling the week before Christmas, that allows you to be baking cookies with your kids while sales are coming through automatically. You want to think of it as setting your business up on cruise control. You are still moving forward, just with a bit of a lighter touch on the wheel. Then the third thing I do is set clear boundaries with my clients. So if you're a service provider like I am, the end of the year can bring a lot of, can you just do XYZ type requests? Those little last minute tasks that creep into your holiday plans. So I always let my clients know early what my holiday hours look like, when I'm going to be offline, and when their final deliverables are due. So, for example, now that my son is in kindergarten, he has about 2.5 weeks off between December 19th and I think he goes back on like January 6th or something like that, whatever that first Wednesday of January is. So that is a lot of time off. And I do not want to be chained to my laptop that 2.5 weeks. I definitely am not going to completely like sign off for 2.5 weeks because that's a lot, but I don't want to be on my computer all the time. And I definitely don't want to be on my computer all night after my kids go to bed. So to make this easier on myself, obviously I'm letting my clients know in advance when everything is due and how they can reach me and all that. But I also like to build in a buffer week. So this means that all client work is wrapped up at least a week before I'm officially taking off for the holidays. That way, if anything runs over, because sometimes it happens, I'm not sitting there and editing podcasts on Christmas Eve because I have other things to do on Christmas Eve than edit my clients' podcast. Of course, I love them, but that's just not something I want to be doing on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or really any time during that, Christmas Eve all the way to my birthday time, because my birthday's on January 4th. So if you're sitting here listening to this and you're like, ooh, I have not sent out communication to my clients yet about my holiday schedule, I want you to draft a quick holiday schedule type email for your clients and send it out very soon. Trust me, you're going to thank yourself later because you'll have these boundaries and deadlines in place so that, you're not getting things at the last minute and feeling really stressed out because you're not only trying to manage stuff with your family, but also making sure your clients are happy. The next step here is creating a cash flow plan that bridges the gap between December and January. So even if you're not launching anything, you can still bring in income through things like payment plans from previous offers, automated sales from your evergreen funnels, end-of-year intensives or day rates for clients who want to jumpstart before the new year starts, or a simple flash sale on a digital product. I also like to look ahead at January and make sure that my first revenue streams of the year are lined up, whether that's taking on new podcast launch clients, any like workshops or events that I plan on hosting, or a push for digital products or my membership. The goal here is to avoid that post-holiday panic where you feel like you're starting from scratch as soon as the year starts. And the last thing that I do, and honestly, probably one of my favorite parts, is using December to reflect and reset. So I take a look at what worked well this year, what I want to change, and where I can simplify even more. This might mean updating my client workflows, cleaning up my Airtable bases, or refreshing my email automations. It's not about doing a full business overhaul, but rather making small tweaks that'll set me up for a smoother start to the new year. And because I front load everything else, I actually have the mental space to actually do this reflection without feeling rushed because I'm not trying to edit client podcast episodes or do anything else externally in my business. It's all about focusing on my business, not working in my business as a service provider. So to recap here, if you want to prep for the holiday slowdown without slowing your sales, here's your game plan. First up, you want to front load and automate your content. Next, you want to map out your holiday promos early. The third thing you want to do is set boundaries with your clients and projects. The fourth thing you want to do is create a cash flow plan for the season. And lastly, you want to reflect and reset your systems for the new year. I truly believe that the holidays are meant to be enjoyed, not spent glued to your laptop. When you plan ahead, automate what you can, and give yourself permission to rest, like actually rest, your business will keep running and your sales can too. So if this episode inspired you to prep your business for the holidays, make sure to take a screenshot of the episode and share it on Instagram and tag me at jenny.sunnison. I would love to see your biggest takeaway from this episode. And if you want to make sure that your business is set up for a strong start in 2026, make sure to check out my digital shop called the Moms Make Money Shop. I've got plenty of plug-and-play resources to help you streamline your systems, simplify your offers, and set up automations before the year ends. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. I will catch you next week for another episode of Moms Make Money. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'd love it if you would head on over to our free Facebook group called Moms Make Money Collective to connect with us further. If you're more of an Instagram fan, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Moms Make Money Collective. If you're loving the show, make sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback means the absolute world to us. We'll see you in the next episode.